grandparents almost every other day with something going on or the other.
If you can just introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Miss Saira.
Thank you, Miss Saira.
No problem.
And I will flip now. Let's see if I can. I can't see the flip button. I'm so bad with technology, and I'm always like,
I don't know on this phone.
yeah, each phone is like so different. So let's see. Let's leave it like this, anyways. I'm wondering whether that should be fine. Somewhere one. Do you have something where we can rest this? Like, I'll take a pot or something. I'll take a pot from here. Yeah, a pot should be fine. What do you think will work? This one is there, but let's see if this one works. What is this? I can see that you've done a little homework.
I did this right before my lunch break. Just really quick, jotted down stuff. I started off filling it out for you, thinking it's geared towards school, like a professional thing.
Yeah, we can do that too.
So I just...
In fact, I was thinking that, if you would prefer that way. It was just like a bonding exercise. That was not like the one that...
I didn't know if you need it for your report or what.
Yeah, because, the thing is that you have to develop a bond first before you can start working on professional development. Otherwise, if the school leaders are in a rush to get into, without developing that rapport, without building that trust.
I know. But while you're in practice, as a principal, they probably know you're not working with us directly, right?
Who?
Your school?
No, they know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The university?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's where we have to take our internship, where we are working.
Oh, okay.
So that was one of the discussions I had before I joined, that Miss Delia had agreed that yes, so that's why, otherwise you're not. But generally everybody agrees, because in some sense it's like ongoing job also, that you are allowing other candidates to get groomed and to get trained and ready for that, because not only Texas but the entire US is running very short of leaders.
Really?
Because who wants to take on?
I know.
It's better. Even I keep going back and forth in my mind whether I even want to, and I like sometimes I back off, then sometimes I feel no, let me at least give it a shot. I've started it
in there.
And then we can learn as we go along.
Exactly.
Anything from a distance looks like it's too big. Like they say with an elephant, you can only eat one bite at a time, however big it looks.
I know.
So that's what I'm working on, but we'll see how it goes, and then hopefully if I feel I'm ready, and if I find somewhere, then again, finding also is not that easy.
I know. Good luck.
Yeah.
Everything, completing it and getting certified.
And especially this year has been so hard, right?
I know.
So
it's like unreal.
So tell me, like how, even if we looked at this this sheet on self-discovery, so but you know what, honestly, I'm really, you have told me a little bit before when we sort of started on how you came into education and this school. You told me that you were an assistant with Miss Mubina, and then Miss Delia asked you, they pushed you into going further.
I just loved working with kids, and they saw that passion there.
Yeah, and
so
then
they asked if I wanted to do the AMI training, AMS, so I went ahead and started that right away. It was like within a week's time.
Everything was
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It was really nice. I learned a lot. Even though working with the teacher for 4 years as her assistant, I had seen a lot.
And so it's been how many years that you are leading this room?
15 years.
In the school or this room?
Before, in the school together.
In the school?
In the classroom, I think it's been 11 years.
11 years. And before that?
I was at a private school.
Okay,
I
so
worked there for 4 years as an assistant Montessori as well. And it was totally different. It was like, give us money to look like a Montessori.
honestly, private Montessori's, I mean, it's a
Exactly.
business. Anywhere a business has
Well, they have to pay bills. you
Yeah,
know.
and
So charter school is different. We don't rely on parents' income to get help, and that's what works.
yeah, that's at least. But then now that you've been into education, like all your youth is all been in this domain of education.
No, I started off in sales,
Okay.
and I wanted to get a degree in law. It just didn't go in that direction. Things changed.
Okay. Yeah, that was my curiosity. That was it a clear path for you, or was it like a detour?
I just had met some friends, and I don't have children of my own, so that passion was there. I love kids.
Oh, okay. And did you grow up in the U.S. itself? Or
I was 1 year old when we came from Pakistan.
1 year. So literally, like it's
All my
been
life,
like
yeah.
literally over a year, all your life, yeah. And so now that you've been almost 20 years, you said, right? How many years before that?
In the field?
In the private school?
4 years.
4 years, and over a year it's
So almost
been
20 years.
almost 20 years, right? And being 20 years, like if you were to look back now for your initial desire of going into law and actually ending up 20 years working in education, how does it make you feel like?
Now, this is like where I always belonged. As time goes by, I realized I wouldn't love my job as much or be passionate about it anywhere else.
So it makes you feel like this is where you were meant to be.
Exactly.
And it sort of allows you to come to at peace with yourself. That this is my spot.
Exactly.
Like working with children, and that's really amazing. So what are your positive attributes as a teacher if you've listed down?
Just the commitment and the care, being patient, just giving back to the community. Especially since I grew up in this district, I went to school here right across the street.
Oh, in Kirkwood. Oh, okay.
Ailey. Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, it's like being home again, where I was supported by great teachers and grew up here. I just wanted to give back, and I'm able to do that.
That's so nice. And what about the method? Because you've been to schooling in a traditional method, and now you see this method and up to 8th grade. Like I've never seen a Montessori up to 8th grade. This is the first time in my life that I'm actually seeing it.
I think with our times, we did miss all this Montessori and the great learning ways, and we just had the traditional. But now, kids are so much smarter. They need it. So I've noticed, and I have a lot of friends in public schools, they're teaching Montessori in their classrooms too. They just don't call it Montessori.
Yeah.
And that's just the right way to go.
Oh, that's the right way to go. Like your feet.
Kids learn faster. If they're 3, 4 years old, where they're reading and doing sounds and stuff.
Okay.
People didn't believe back in the 80s and the 90s children should even do that.
Yeah. So, all put together, you feel that this is a good place to be.
Yes.
But in leading the classroom, having been an assistant, and at this moment of time, like, do you feel that you have areas that need improvement, or you feel that
all the time with education, there's always so much new stuff, but for me this year has been technology. Like I feel so behind not knowing all the stuff and being able to help parents or troubleshoot and things like that. It's been just a catch-up period for me.
But you're doing very well, I think, because I see you that you very fast, trying to keep everybody in the loop and taking
I try my best.
Yeah, taking those initiatives to, either it's lunch or supporting somebody's cause. You are the one who's sort of leading that effort.
I just have that built in me, I think.
Yeah, those things you can't force those things, they just are there in you, or they're not. They seem to be in you. So if you look at that area, like what have you identified over the years? But this year, like you said, technology is the main challenge for you.
So we've been, when I started off school this year, it was really hard. We were all going through nervous breakdown almost. Like, what do we do? How do we teach the kids? How do we put them on and stuff? Since we had never been faced with a challenge like that before. But I've just been patient, and anytime I need help, I reach out to people. And we have a great principal, Mr. Saira, helping us right now too.
Technology.
Yeah, we're glad somebody's on campus, on base. So every time you pass by my classroom, he'd check, are you okay, or you need my help? Which was nice. You have a good feeling, you know, in case you break down, at least you can reach out to somebody right away and get help.
I know. I even at home, I reach out for my son, like for everything, and I feel, or my daughter-in-law, the younger son and the older daughter-in-law. My older son's always at work, so it's okay, ask her. But I often ask myself, what if they had not been around me? Like, who would I be? Like, you know, you just stay looking at the screen and not knowing what to do. So
a lot of people go through that. They don't have anybody to reach out to.
Yeah.
And now I have, like, just on my Zoom class, so many grandparents who have to learn.
Okay.
Mute and log
That's
in.
a new challenge.
Oh, man, it's hard for them, and I really appreciate it. I reach out at least once a week and tell them thank you. We really appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah, of course, because for them, they wouldn't have ever thought in life that they would have had to do this, but now
They probably never even touched a laptop.
Exactly,
honestly.
you know, and now if their kids are going to work, somebody has to be the breadwinner over there, and so I can really get that it's like a dual challenge.
Exactly.
Not having the material to work with. Children are not close to you, and now you have a different set of parents.
It's like a whole new, like we're in space or something.
And we are almost anticipating this to go on for this whole year, academic year.
I'm actually thinking they might close to 2021.
Yeah, that's what
again.
they're saying, and that's what even yesterday Ms. Dahlia's email suggested, that take everything, so just in case, you know. That's why I was like keen, okay, no, let's not miss it, because otherwise, you know, it would. So, you know, I looked at the, and because I was doing, tomorrow I'm going to present on M class too. So, as I was looking at just your class over here, and I didn't, out of the 6, there are 3 students who are below or well below, right? There is Alexis, there is me or my, how would you pronounce it?
Me.
Okay. He is well below, and just one more, I think Jackie.
Yes.
He's also well below, right? So, how do you feel about, or what are your thoughts on the move from TPRI to M class as an assessment tool?
So I think it was very tough. And for example, Jackie is very smart. He's reading 2nd grade level. He just saw the test and froze. He had like an anxiety attack, and he was crying, and he didn't want to do it. So I could not push him. I could not even get him settled down.
Yeah.
So it was really hard, but he was trying, so I couldn't turn the test off either. You know, and continue with Alexis.
So he is Zoom or virtual?
They were all virtual.
All of them are virtual.
So that made a big difference with the M class as well. You know, like TPRI, they're more comfortable. They're in front of you. They're relaxed. On Zoom, it's more like, oh, I have a test to take. I have to pay attention.
Yeah, that anxiety, which is culturally there.
Yeah.
Now
They're really young, so they get scared really quick. And the way they've been groomed in our classroom, they stay with us for 3 years.
Yeah,
So
and no rush about anything.
Exactly.
So.
They don't understand that.
But other than the Zoom factor, the technology factor, doing it virtually, as a tool between TPRI and M class, what do you see like as? Are they similar, or were there any differences?
They are similar. They're very similar. M class was easier to assess.
Okay.
But a few things like TPRI had a little bit more easier with the story. The children enjoyed it more as well, doing the questions at the end. They always kind of look forward to that. Oh, we're doing that test with the story.
Oh, okay.
I've been doing it 11 years now, so I can tell.
And so this year, this M class didn't have stories?
No.
There was oral reading, right?
Yes,
Sunday?
just the sounds mostly and the words.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, so let's go over the students who are below benchmark, and we did that. And so now, and you have set goals for them.
Let me tell you about Me. Me is very smart, but in Vietnamese.
What about her?
In English, she doesn't understand nothing because she's never spoken English.
Okay.
So it's really hard to assess a child It's a different language.
Oh, okay. So it's more the language factor over here.
Otherwise, she's really smart. She can keep up with everything.
And what is she Vietnamese?
Yes.
So you have Miss Teresa to help with that?
I did have help, but it's really hard for her to translate like that, especially on Zoom. And then she had two grandmas sitting next to her during the test who were like, no, say this, no, do this, no.
Over ambitious. So is she picking up? But because she's in KG now, she's been with you for, this is the third year?
Last year, she only did half day. She used to go home at 11:30, so it's kind of like I barely saw her.
Oh. So in that sense, like you said that he froze, Jackie froze, but he's smart.
Yes.
So what about Alexis? What do you think?
Alexis has issues. She's already with you guys in speech therapy. And we are looking forward to get her tested for dyslexia in the future.
Actually, I was reading yesterday because I was preparing for the SEM class, and in fact, that one said that yes, you can test for dyslexia from KG also. You don't have to wait for after first.
I've seen her since she was 3. I've seen a lot of improvement with her, but still there's red flags still up. So she does need more guidance, and she needs one-on-one a lot. Like with the class on Zoom, it's really hard for her to focus. It's hard for her to keep up, and then she shuts down really quick because she can't keep up. So it's hard. And before I had in-person kids, I helped her individually on Zoom. But now that I have in-person kids, I don't have that open schedule where I can sit with her. It's really tough. But her mom is helping her a lot at home too. And anytime she needs guidance, she reaches out to me. I'm like their family. I've known them for 3 years. So.
Yeah, you get close to people. So if you see her, the goals that you've set for her, like, there is a big jump from 306 to, in the middle of the year, you are anticipating her to grow to 371. And then by the end of the year, 420. So my question to you was, okay, so let's see. So from the list of these 3 students, Alexis, Jackie, and Mai, right? Mai. Those 2 are more like if they didn't have those barriers of it being a Zoom, or the language a little, so it wouldn't have been so difficult for them. But for Alexis, if you can see,
she's different.
Then she's different, and she has serious challenges.
Exactly.
Like, So my question was, which ones are you doubtful of achieving this goal that you set for yourself? Because
these
you
goals were
set
not
these
set
goals.
by me.
No?
They were set by M-Class.
Oh, it's an auto-generated. Oh, I thought you had set these.
Yeah.
Okay, so given the score, it sets.
I'm very much thinking she's not going to reach her goals, but we're going to try our best.
Yeah, because, okay, so that, if she reaches this goal, that means she would then come up to the benchmark level, probably. That's what they are looking at. Okay, so let's see now if we are saying that, let's work with this one child, as we were even discussing the other day. And as you said that she has, if you see, her letter name was 21. So letter name, anyways, in Montessori, it takes a little while for you to teach them those names. So, but the phonemic awareness is well below. So what material works for phonemic awareness as such?
Sandpaper letters we start off with. A lot of I Spy games, just matching objects to the letter and doing sounds. Then Peabody cards with like a picture and a word on the back. That really helps. And actual objects and just labeling them around the environment.
What size is your?
Also movable alphabet. Just building words and stuff like that. But at home, even the material I sent and stuff, she's not keeping up with it. Mom has 3 kids, so it's hard for her to juggle.
Working,
and she's in college too.
Mother's also in college. So if we see, like, what for you, what is your understanding of her difficulty? What is, like, come as an obstacle? What is it like? What is your analysis?
I think she needs more. She needs to be evaluated first. I agree with that. That's something beyond I'm seeing.
But evaluation would only be these things and a couple more tests.
No,
so
like
then
her comprehension is a little bit behind. So we're not sure if she's picking up or hearing us correctly or things like that too.
So
Does
are
it,
you
know.
suggesting that she could be intellectually deficient?
Exactly.
Okay.
It's
So-
just, I'm not a doctor, so I can't say that. I see the signs and I can just give heads up to the parents and talk to them
So,
about it.
dyslexia is different because dyslexia,
I know.
we evaluate only with an average
I
child.
know.
So you
But
don't
that's
even.
the beginning of a door for the parents to understand what's going on with their child, and then maybe they'll go on with the next step.
Yeah, because you wouldn't do a dyslexia evaluation for a child who has low comprehension.
Yeah. No, her other signs for dyslexia are all showing too. Like the biggest one, red flag. She's still writing numbers and letters backwards a lot.
Okay.
And we're not able to fix it.
So you are
Even with
saying that,
practice.
but generally, what do you feel like? Does she have an average intelligence, or does she have?
I think something's going on because she does talk to herself a lot, even on Zoom.
Okay.
Sometimes she doesn't listen,
Okay.
And it's not that she's not trying to. I think it's genuinely something else is going on.
But
And
like
working with kids for so long,
yeah,
I
exactly.
can tell
Yeah.
that it's a little out of the normal. Her behavior, the way she's acting.
Oh, so do you think it's like an autistic characteristic?
I can relate to that, but I'm just not sure, honestly. It's
So she
really
talks
hard
to
for us to
herself.
diagnose kids that are so young because we just don't know what's going on.
It's
with
too
them
early.
at
That's why
home.
we also don't jump into start doing the full individual evaluation.
Yeah.
We could do a dyslexia testing, but then the dyslexia is provided that the child everything is average. The child is doing well in everything, like talking to you, doing the stuff, and then only suddenly one roadblock.
No,
This
this is just a part of the package. That
the whole
something's
the
not
all
right.
round. So that means it's
She
not
does need to be checked for other things too.
other things too. Okay, yeah. Talks to herself, you said.
Yeah.
Does she socialize with other kids?
Yes. She's very friendly, very nice. Zoom, she has closed the screen and left many times because she feels embarrassed. She can't keep up.
So she's conscious of that.
Exactly.
She's conscious that she's not able to keep up. Like because if it was ID, she wouldn't even be aware that she's not keeping up,
Yeah.
right? Because they don't even have that presence
They're
of
too young.
mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're too young, and also if they are a little low, they're not even aware of what others are thinking about. But if she's conscious that she's not keeping up, that means, and maybe because she has older sisters, so that in
older
itself
sister
is
was younger. She's middle child.
and she has one younger one.
Yes.
So there's a lot of learned behavior also on how to cover up. So not keeping up. So now let's see if you have set this goal. What is the strategy that you have in mind? Like given that the Zoom thing happening, what strategy do you think? Like let's look at
I
each
give her
one.
homework, and I've sent this M-class recommendations to mom as well.
Okay.
To help her at home, and the most I can do is do sounds, and while we're on Zoom I call her out by name to make sure she's paying attention, or she's looking at me, or she's keeping up with the program, at that time, whatever lesson we're giving. And that's all I can do. I wish I could go to her house and help her, but
And you think that would help?
if she had somebody in person helping her, that would be a little different.
So mom couldn't hire, or the older sister couldn't take on that role. How old is the
She
sister?
has her own homework. A year or two older than her.
Just a year or two, not like
No.
but if mom, like if there was a high school kid or a college kid,
No, I don't think that would be an option for them.
for them, they're not like they do not have the resources.
I don't think so. And with mom working and stuff, I don't know. Mom works with them a lot right now, though, as much as she can between her college and stuff. So it would kind of be rude of me to say, "Hey, why don't you hire somebody
No,
else?"
I mean we wouldn't say directly,
Yeah.
but if that can help make that child's life so. Are you going to recommend for her to stay back? Have you ever retained
Mom
anybody
doesn't want them to. I thought you meant in class.
in class one more year in
Not
the
really. I'm
environment?
hoping she can still catch up because she does do sounds. It just takes her time. She cannot keep up with the test, but otherwise she's trying. And I see slight improvements, as she's practicing.
She's able to write?
Yes, she's able to write. She does 3-4 letter words. She remembers a lot of her sounds, but she needs that repetition. Like Thanksgiving break, if she doesn't work on it, when she comes back, it's a clean slate.
Yeah.
She this year did not even remember names of fruits and vegetables, which was very surprising to me. Because she didn't practice them or didn't,
And do they speak Spanish at home?
Not much. They speak more English.
They speak English, so it's not like she's not listening to those things often.
Exactly.
So if we had to look at one strategy which we could track between us, what could it be, like, which you feel that one strategy can help this child?
I'm not sure. I think we have to find a way to help her one-on-one, or give mom more materials and more things to do at home.
Okay. So if you were to, like, say let's look at this one, that send material home, relevant material, like generally what we send to all the kids could be different than send. So that's one strategy, like if you can sort of do and see, because it's something which we can track. That okay, we sent mom, especially in this break, or just some website that mom can just make her repeat and repeat, on that, so she doesn't lose track.
Exactly.
So do you think that's a possibility, like say between now and if we do use that strategy, and then see that if the mom did it or not, whether she was able to retain those words and letters or not?
We check in with her weekly and see how much we're able to do, and mom's pretty honest. She tells me most of the time I wasn't able to do it or I did it.
So do you have something in mind, like a particular send some appropriate, like
I can make her more flashcards. I can make her move alphabets.
But don't you think if there was some link or something, it would be easier on you?
I don't know. If she had a link, she would really focus with that, because there's nobody there to watch her.
Okay, so
she needs more interaction with the person, I believe.
Okay, so we are saying that send those flashcards.
Yes.
Send flashcards. Is this for alphabets?
Yes.
And
3-letter words, 4-letter words.
Yeah. Okay. So this is actually words.
Yes.
Words. And you said two things actually. Flashcards.
Movable alphabet. The letters. Just letters.
And just letters. Yeah. Movable letters. Yeah. So this way she can keep on.
I've sent her some before.
Words.
They were small, so maybe I'd send her a bigger set.
Is there any possibility that you would be able to get these created over Thursday and Friday, so that it goes home?
Not right now. Maybe when we come back.
After we come back. So this way then we can...
Plus I have to talk to mom to be able, she's going to use them.
Okay. And so let's see, say as an option, if mom says, well, really I don't have the time. So within the classroom structure, what is that possibility of, how then could we work with?
Well, just the same thing I'm doing right now, calling her by name, making her focus, trying to keep her attention with me. That's about it. Making her practice as much as she can while she's on Zoom with me.
Yeah, and like you said, mom is cooperative, so if you were to send it, then that would help.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to just, have this initial thing to see that was there something that we can get in place, and then we can sort of track. But this child, the other child, who you said the language is the barrier. So now she's in kinder and she'll go in first grade. So what strategies for her which could make the conversation more fluent for her in English? What is
that's just something they have to practice at home. There's nothing I can do about that right now, since she's not in class with me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But does something come to your mind that,
Well, I've already told parents to teach her English words, get her some cards, things that she does watch on TV and stuff. They're still doing Vietnamese most of the time.
Most of the time they listen, because grandparents, they enjoy watching their own.
And you can't tell somebody stop using your language, and only focus on English.
Oh, no,
Some people don't understand.
In fact, it's good also for kids to know a second language, but
I think she'll catch up with time.
she'll
She's
get
just never been exposed to it, and it's not much exposure. Otherwise, kids, when they're 3 years old and they come to us knowing a different language, they pick up very fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
she hasn't been with us that long. She only came last year.
Oh, she didn't come at 3 years? And she went to schooling before that, or she didn't go to school before
No,
that?
only grandma at home.
At home. Oh my God. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I have hope in her. She will catch up. She's very smart.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's not like your worry
No.
that by the end of this year,
No.
she's not your worry. Only Alexis is like
Alexis is it.
one person. So we'll see. So when we come back, then if by the time something you have in mind on what type of flashcards, and like you said, first you'll talk to mom and see how we can help her. And mom is open to her getting tested too, right?
Yes. Mom sees and worries about her academics.
Okay.
And she sees that she's putting in a good effort to not see much results.
Yeah, because I feel that it doesn't look like a very high dyslexia. I mean, only it's like there's a lot of other things.
Exactly. And
Going
even when
on.
she was with Mira in speech, she was evaluated, and Mira had put in her notes, she notices other things that need to be checked.
Yeah, I think I'd read it somewhere too. Yeah, so we'll have to just observe her and then just do our best to see how we can move her up to this score. So you feel that she would reach anywhere near these targets?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Because when would you be testing for the middle of the year?
Soon, probably by January.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we'll know.
I don't think she'll be close, but we'll try our best. Because again, she's coming back to a test that she's seen before now. So maybe she'll be a little bit more comfortable looking at it. So we never know.
Yeah. And hopefully she shouldn't have lost a lot in those 2 breaks.
Exactly.
That's
a big
1 week
thing
and then
too.
again 3 weeks and then again 3 weeks. So that's
I know.
a lot. But hopefully if we have something going, then mom, even in the Christmas break, if she can continue working
Yes.
with her, then we can see whether that's helped. So we'll track that way like that and see. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Well, no problem.
Do you have any questions?
No, right now.
No, yeah? Okay. So then we'll meet once we come back from the break.
Okay.
Maybe a Wednesday
Okay.
like this. So I think middle of the week, Wednesday is like an easier day probably on you.
Yeah. Wednesday is an easier day.
On you.
Oh,
so,
Wednesday usually we have staff meetings, remember?
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll work around
Yeah,
it.
and not every Wednesday, right? Staff meeting is once a month?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you're
or is it
meeting.
once a month? I don't remember. It feels like it's been 2 weeks.
So we'll figure out then.
Okay.
Otherwise, we'll make it a Tuesday.
Okay.
So this way, then we can track it out.
Okay,
Yeah?
no problem. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you so
it.
much. I appreciate
Sharing some ideas.
Well,